and thank you to Melon, because this has an RTMP feature, which means that I can broadcast out to OneStream. OneStream have an embeddable video player, so I'm then live on my website, which is where you see me now. You could also see me on YouTube now. I've just set that up. But why do this? Why go live on your website? Well, I can give you a real world example from today. Today at 3 o'clock, Brigetti was set to host a show from Be Live going to Facebook. And the guests were myself and Inga Wisnetsia, hopefully, or Inga, we'll call her Inga, okay? And we're all there in good time to actually check out and make sure that the camera was working, the sound was working, everything was good. And at 3 o'clock, Brigetti went live. Now, by way of starting the show, Brigetti had 6 or 7 minutes of video to actually play at the beginning of the broadcast. Now, she's played them before without any problem at all. You see what's coming now. When the fourth video that Brigetti was playing had finished, Facebook cut off the feed. They stopped the broadcast. Now, we know this was from Facebook's side. Facebook AI detected some music playing, and it decided that music could have a copyright claim against it and stopped the video. And we've no control over that. We're sat in the studio and a message comes up, Facebook broadcast has stopped. And that's visible to everybody. It's not just the host, it's visible to the guests as well. So that means you in a quandary then. What do you do next? Well, you don't panic, because once the broadcast is stopped on Facebook Live, there is nothing you can do to actually recapture it. It's gone. So you start a new broadcast. So Brigetti started a new broadcast, dropped one of the videos, and started and did the introduction, played the videos, and then started talking to Inga, and Facebook stopped the broadcast again. So 2 broadcasts out to Facebook Live, and they were both stopped in their tracks. Now, by this time, I'd actually shared the broadcast onto my own personal page and into the Be Live group, because this was a Be Live broadcast. And what do? You 2 strikes against you. So, third time lucky, Brigetti went live and played 2 of the 5 pieces of music, and those 2 were acceptable to Facebook, and the broadcast continued for the full 30 minutes. The takeaway from this is that if you actually go live on Facebook, we are subject to Facebook rules, which is fair. It's Facebook's site. They decide what is good and what is bad. They police the site actively using AI. The AI has been trained to check music playing in broadcast against a database of music, and if it finds a match, then it sees a possible copyright violation, and it will just stop the broadcast there and then. There's no human intervention at all. This is not personal. This is the computer saying you cannot continue that broadcast. So first broadcast was stopped. Second broadcast with similar music, that was stopped as well. The third broadcast with not as many tunes playing went ahead. Now, there's no way that you can actually work out exactly what went wrong, because the first two videos were actually deleted from Facebook. They've gone. So there's no recourse, and any notification that there would have been about copyright infringement has gone as well, because the videos have been deleted. Now, the problem with this is that if you, as a Facebook page, continually run up against the music AI, continually get copyrights claims, then your page will suffer. Not only will your page suffer, but the owners of the page will suffer as well. Now, the page that was being broadcast to is controlled by 6 of us. And when you have copyright strikes on your own page, it's not a problem. But when you have copyright strikes on somebody else's page, you're playing with fire. Now, we don't know exactly what happened, but we do know that the first 2 broadcasts were actually stopped. Which brings me to why I'm here broadcasting now. And the simple fact is that if you broadcast live on your website, you're not going to get copyright strikes. The only thing that can happen is that you wouldn't play the top 40 or top 10 Billboard songs in a live broadcast. So common sense means that you can broadcast your own website, providing that you have the copyright to the music. Now, I did a blog about this. There are sites out there who charge from $10 to $100 a month to play with music for which you would have the copyright. Now, it doesn't mean that the music would be accepted by Facebook and YouTube, but if you go live on your own website with that music, then you know that you're actually covered. So you won't get music strikes on your own website, which is the major bugbear of going live on Facebook and wanting to play music. Music sets the mood of a live broadcast. It's important, much in the same way as a background image or sharing images can set the tone of the broadcast. But if you're on Facebook, you have no control. The only place that you have control, total control, is on your website. Now, broadcasting to your website, you need broadcasting software which allows you to broadcast to a CDN. Right, okay, I'll come back to explain what it is, but I'm going from Melon to OneStream and from OneStream to my website. So if you're watching this on my website now, and thank you for doing so, then it's going through 3 phases to actually get to you. But I'm in control of them all. I can start and stop this broadcast as I want. Nobody else is going to stop this broadcast because it's all on my turf that I've hired. Okay? Melon, OneStream, and my website are mine to use. I was lucky in terms of OneStream because I actually got an AppSumo deal last year and stacked it 6 cents, you see, and it means that I can broadcast on OneStream 24/7 if I wanted. Well, there is a fair use policy, but I can broadcast to my website so easily. It's just so easy to do. I can only use Melon or OBS, and I'll be on OBS Ninja this weekend. But if ever you wanted to know the reason for broadcasting to your website, the primary one is that you have total control. You're in charge. You say what goes. You say what's played. You're responsible for it. But nobody is going to police you. Somebody might report you, but nobody's going to police you, not whilst you're live. So at least you get the live broadcast and you get that in the can. The other reason for broadcasting to website is simple and straightforward. When you broadcast to Facebook, people will watch the first few 30 seconds, minute, but then go off and do something else. The thing about Facebook is it's like going into a buffet, an all-you-can-eat buffet. There's so much on the table that you're actually going to go away from watching me and you're going to go watch something else or read something else. One of the favorite pastimes, me included, is to actually be listening to a live broadcast in the background and to be surfing somewhere else. Now, if it's Facebook, I could be reading a post, I could be looking at images, but I can still listen, providing my microphone's good. People will still listen to this broadcast. But there are distractions. On YouTube, people actually I go to actually watch video. And whilst you're watching me live on YouTube now, I have no doubt that you're looking around my page for another video to watch after this one finishes. And you're seeing videos from me and from other people and making a mental note of what you're going to do next. So it's up to me to actually keep you engaged, but human nature being what it is, you're actually going to turn away and you're going to surf YouTube, you're going to surf other pages. Right. So on both Facebook and YouTube, we have free will. We can go and do what we want. We can listen to the broadcast in the background. But if you want people to watch your broadcast and you want them to find out more about you, the place to broadcast is your website. Your website is my live video at the moment, plus it's all the blogs that you've written. So whilst people are actually listening to you live on your website, they can read your blog posts. They're not distracted. They're actually still reading about things that are of interest to you. They're finding out more about you. You're telling your story in the blogs as well as telling it on live video. And they're not less likely to go off to somebody else's page. So live video is the way to bring traffic to your website and to keep it there. Because it's not just this live video, it's all that goes with it. Now, up above this video on my webpage, you will see a link to blogs. Press blogs, right click, opening another window, and you can read my blogs whilst I'm live. Okay, and then occasionally come back in to actually see if I've changed costume or not, or background. But you're more likely to stay on my website if I've got live video on it. Okay, that's the soapbox over. Okay, now the other beauty is that because this is being recorded, I can edit that section. Live video is one of the best ways of creating content. So I can edit the section about Brigetti's broadcast. I can edit the section about why you should be going live on your own website and put those out as snippets. And those snippets can be used to trail upcoming broadcasts. So going live is one of the best ways to actually create content. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't go on Facebook and YouTube, far from it. But I am saying that if you've got important broadcasts, I've got a friend, I've got several friends, I've got lots of friends, probably 400 or 500 I've made in the time I've been live broadcasting, which is the last 5 years. And one of those is an actual live video producer. And he produces shows for other people. And Facebook put him in jail, Facebook jail. So he couldn't produce shows for other people, which led him down the avenue of where can I produce a show without anybody getting in my way or telling me what to do? The answer is to broadcast the website. Now, if you've got a client, you can broadcast them on Facebook and on YouTube, but the whole idea of Facebook and YouTube is to bring people back to your website. If you broadcast from your website to begin with, yeah, and that's one of the avenues that's being explored. Going live on your website is 2021. Broadcasting on your website is 2021. And it's, from a technical point of view, it's just one extra step from pressing the go live button to actually being live on your website. Set it up. It takes about 10 minutes to set up each time, but once you set up, you can just press the button and go live, as I did on Melon. And that took it live on my website. I mean, I double check, but I don't need to double check. I don't need to have my website open. I've got it open today because I'm actually testing. As you probably discovered, I'm actually testing this actually working. But right, so from exasperation on Facebook to the joys of broadcasting to your own website. Now, I hope you like my background. In actual fact, this background was given to me by Brigetti Limbanda, who's an excellent friend who lives in South Africa. And Brigetti had this idea. She was watching Piers Morgan storm off the set during the week, and she noticed that Piers Morgan, the screen behind him was actually a green screen. You saw it when he stormed off. So Brigetti came up with this idea for a panoramic background. And what you see behind me is half of a panoramic background. And when Brigetti and I broadcast together earlier today, Brigetti had one half of the background and I had the other. And it just worked so well. So congratulations, Brigetti, and thank you for this background. In fact, the 3 backgrounds, I'm going to show you another one because I am on XSplit Vcam and I can do this. Here's another one. Okay, so again, Brigetti has got the other half to this. Now you notice this one for me, because I set up when I started this broadcast, I set everything up to work with this background. I set the lighting up. Everything is working with this background. And that's why you shouldn't change backgrounds during a broadcast. I've just proved that because the quality changes. Okay, favourite hobby horse. You do need, this is me, this is my office. And I've got the green screen, physical green screen, 2 side lights which are on at the moment, and that enables me to bring up a background. Do that, okay, and you just see the odd things, but the quality is there. So thank you to XSplit Vcam. I've been with XSplit Vcam since January 2019, and it's quite probably the best green screen or screen removal, background removal software is the correct term, that's actually on the market. Okay, so I will, after this broadcast, download the broadcast from Melon, and I shall be putting it on a new website, which I'm starting this weekend, which is, and you're the first to hear about it. It's actually called Web Talks Live. Now, Web Talks Live is purely and simply for anything that I broadcast on the web page. Because the thing about broadcasting on the web, you can actually see it now, but as soon as I stop broadcasting, it's gone. Yeah. But I do have a local recording. That recording will go onto Live Web Talks. So all the recordings will be on one site and on Vimeo. And that's independent of Facebook and YouTube. I think the move to be independent of Facebook and YouTube is on. And I'm looking forward to other providers having RTMP so I can use them. I'm happy to test them as well. Okay, let's just go back to the web page. And yes, I can see I'm still live. Okay, I just wanted to check. I mean, I'm using bandwidth here. But Angelica's just watching a course at the moment, so she's not broadcasting, so bandwidth is not a problem. But I'm blown away. To Melon, thank you for the quality of the Melon broadcast at 1080p. It will go out at 1080p on my website. It will go out at 1080p because I'm going to YouTube as well. And it's the quality of the video that we get these days. If we go back 5 years, we couldn't have dreamt of what we can do now. No way could we have dreamt of what we can do now. I'm just going to go back to the website just for a second, just to double check something. I'm going to scroll down and okay, all quiet on the Western Front. I'm going to put my ticker on and say, if you are, please, if you are watching this live, then please do leave a comment. Because that helps. Oh, it's basically, I'm just going to refresh the page just to find something out. Just give me a second. I'm going to freeze myself. Okay, so now I'm frozen. You can still hear me, but in order for me to do something in the background, which I'm going to do now, I'm going to refresh the page. Okay, and okay, so on my quiet little corner of the web, I have the recording from this broadcast. And the other thing we've got to do, coming back to the studio, I'll take the okay. If you're broadcasting to your website, then the obvious thing is you have to attract people to your website, which means that you have to do broadcasts on your website. And I'm looking at ways to actually bring people to your website. I'll be doing that over the next 2 months. As I build up my audience on the website, I'll be putting together a how to attract people to watch live video on your website. Okay. Right, it's the weekend officially. So if you catch this live, thank you very much, and thank you for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Have a great weekend. Take care. And you may see me testing over the weekend, but you won't see me live until Monday, 3 p.m. in the UK, 10 a.m. Eastern, with live video production weekly with Nick Wood. So have a great time. Take care. See you again soon. And I'm going to end the broadcast there.